Hey, welcome back to the Punchline podcast. I'm your host, Ponchitta Sashawoo. The Punchline podcast is a show about the perils and pitfalls of starting a business. I am going to talk to you today about how to raise capital in 2024. That's what we're talking about. That is the topic for today. Capital is the subject, and I'm going to tell you how I raised back 10 years ago when I started my business, how I lost a ton of money, and what I would do different now if I had to do it all over again. That's what we're talking about today. I'm going to give you a few tips on how to raise and how you can do things differently so that you don't make the mistakes that I made early on. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is when you're raising capital is levels. So it's so many different options that you'll have, but the first option should always be you looking in your circle if you need money for your business. Everybody is going to need capital at some point, even as you grow. You may have money coming in and you may bootstrap a lot, and that's a good thing. But even if you don't have to feel bad about it because most people are going to need outside sources to get money for their business. So I would encourage you to first start in your circle and go outward. And then from your business, the reason why capital is important, even if you're making money, is because you want to use revenue to put back into the business. But when you're starting up, you need the money for the products, for your equipment, for anything that's going to help you to grow, for any types of tools or programs that you need to run the business. So this is important to raise that capital early on so that you have everything that you need. But the first thing that I would tell anybody to do when you're trying to raise capital in 2024, um, you should be looking at your friends and your family. The friends and family round is so important because as you grow and you get bigger, if you look for investments anywhere, grants, that's one of the main questions that's always going to be asked. Like, have you looked in your immediate circle first before you went out? As well as how much money have you put in yourself? So for me, when I started years ago, I um, took a $25,000 loan from my retirement plan. And I wouldn't encourage anybody else to do that because you will be taxed heavily for taking that money out. I didn't buy all of that. I know I needed the money, so I took the chance. I just figured that I would have the money back in no time. It didn't work that way. I paid it now, but back then I didn't. And so I wouldn't encourage anybody to do that. I mean, when you don't know when you don't know what you don't know, you'll take a lot of chances. And then, especially when you think you're desperate and need the money, you'll do what you got to do. That was me. I also got $4,500 from my brother. He invested, and then my mom, she invested 1,500. So altogether, it sounds $31,000. It sounds like was the amount that I got, but looking back, I had to pay fees on their retirement money. So it wasn't exactly 25. I didn't get no 25. After fees, probably got maybe 22, 23, something like that. And that was 10 years ago. So I don't remember, but I know I didn't get the 25. But I can tell you, mm, with all the money that I got, I probably got around 29,000, 29. That's how much I started with, which it sounds like a lot of money at first when you're starting, but once those startup costs start hitting, it's not a lot of money. And so in my particular case, I lost all of that within 12 months. So let me give you this timeline. In started November, it was Thanksgiving weekend 2012. That Saturday was when I launched. The money was gone probably a year later. I went through a divorce. My ex filed for divorce in September of 2013. I know this because by January of 2014, we were divorced. Now, um, in 2013, also, I remember I held an event in my hometown, and that was in November of 2013. And so by then, that's when the money was already on. And I was hustling then because I had held this fundraiser because I was asked to do some makeup for some women for a show. I wanted to give it back. That's what the whole purpose and the intention was. I wanted to give back. And I wanted to also use that as like a marketing opportunity for my brand. It was pretty good marketing if I had had the money up front to do what I was trying to do and give to the shelter. But I didn't have it, so I raised the money for it, and I did. And I gave what I could. The event was successful on so many levels because I didn't expect that. But but the whole point of it was during that time I didn't have any money. I went from starting with the 20 plus thousand, 25. I had in excess of about 25,000 throughout that whole start year. But by the time I went through the divorce, I had to find a place to live because what many people don't know, when I married my ex, I moved into his home. He wanted a divorce. Of course, I couldn't stay there. So me and my child, I had a child at that time, had to find somewhere to stay. And we didn't have anything. I didn't have a backup plan. I lost about $8,000 on defective products that I had invested in, and I couldn't sell those products. $8,000 may not sound like a lot of money, but it was at that time, especially when you're starting off, especially when you have all these other things going on as well. I had like four major life changing events that happened at that time. I launched a business. I went through my divorce, and then I had a daughter graduating from high school and a daughter graduating from college. All of that was a lot. And with the thing about life changing events is that it's taxing on your resources and your physical and mental um, strength. In days, it's amazing that I got through it, but I did. I did, and I thank God for it. However, at that time, I could barely see what was ahead of me because I had so many things coming at me at once. So that was almost 10,000 right off the top. The products, I had a launch where I know I spent about $2,500 on my lunch, maybe probably more because I bought the products and the products alone. I spent about $1,000, and then and probably in excess of 15. I don't remember. But the good thing about that is that on the day of my lunch, I made about 2,000. But I spent probably, I broke even, pretty sure of it because I spent about 15, 2,000 ish because I had a hotel. It was in a hotel event room. I had the products, I had the display, I had the marketing stuff. I bought linens, chair, all that kind of stuff. So that was the reason why I broke even kind of because I spent all this money for that event. But here I am, spent 8,000 on defective products. And let me give you a hint. Like when you are launching, you have to remember this one thing before you go to try to test your products in the market. The mistake I made was thinking that I needed all of these products. I sold cosmetics. I sell skincare and beauty products. I thought I had to have everything at once. Mistake number one. I needed to test those products. I needed to use that opportunity at that lunch to talk with my potential customers to find out what they wanted and what they needed. And I didn't do that. I just got everything, put it all out there, spent a bunch of money on the products, defective products, all of that. And I lost a ton of money like that. So what am I saying? You need to, number one, test your products out. Test your products by starting small at your launch. People don't need a bunch of choices and options. Put what you have on the table, the few options you have, and see if they want it. But pitch your products in such a way that they want to test them out, give you feedback, and then you see what you need to improve. That's how you iterate. That's how you grow and improve the products that you have. So with the launch, that's really just testing. You're trying to build marketing awareness. You're trying to find product market fit, and you're trying to see who your product, who your customer, your target market is. So those are the things that you're trying to see in the beginning. You're not going to find that out at lunch, right then and right there. So that's the reason why you got to start small, especially when you don't have a lot of capital. So that's what I would tell anybody, like starting off. You have got to test the market. You got to test your market first. So when you're raising, um, and then you want to go back to your family, your friends, use that. If you have a successful launch, use that as leverage. Go back to them and say, hey, you want to invest in my product? I got these amount of customers so far, and they like the product. This is how we're different. This is how we're growing. This is what I need the money for. You need to pitch your mama, your daddy, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins, them favorite cousins of yours, everybody in the group chat. Group chats are personal. So once you start, you get in your group chat with your friend. Do not pitch your friends in the group chat. That's not the time. You make note of the ones in the group chat that may be interested in what you're selling, and then you come back to them. Set up something, invite them out somewhere, and then pitch them. And really pitch them and be passionate. And who cares if they don't buy it, but I promise you, the people who love you and they know that you're passionate and they start to think about what you're building and its potential, they'll very likely invest. Um, so you gotta create like great pitch though. You need to be passionate, you need to be excited, and you need to really do your research in your heart. Now, some important relationships that need to be pitched are going to be marital relationships, friend and lovers and boyfriends and so forth. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have your significant other behind what you're doing. And let me tell you something. If you're in a relationship and your significant other is building something, support them. It goes a long way. Otherwise, that's going to cause like a lot of contention in your relationship. Do you really want that? Is that what you really want? Now, I'm not here to give relationship or marital advice, but I can't tell you not supporting that person when they're trying to build something, when you would benefit from it directly, that says a lot. And you got to get behind these people if you claim you love them because you never know what it's going to be. Especially now, I'm not here to give you advice in that area other than to say your support will go a long way in your relationship. And for those of you who are single, dealing with people that do not support what you're doing, but they want you to do other things for them, you need to pay attention to that and reevaluate. Um, Just about everybody I've dealt with has invested in my business in one way or another, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. But by the time I was going through my divorce, all my money was gone, so I had to start reaching out to my family and my friends to see who could help me. Because a product-based business and products you have to invest in, you have to have products available when people start um, ordering. And I had a website. I've had my website for over 10 years. Right now, I've been having some problems with my website. I'm trying to rebrand and I'm trying to rebuild. That has been a nightmare, but it's coming. That's another thing with raising capital. Um, Go to those people and hit them up. If I could do it all over again at the family reunions, at our gatherings, at our friend events. I would have a picture in together and I would write down. I would, they say in our circle that we have at least 250 to 100 people that we know that are in our circle. I know probably thousands of people, but in my music talk, I would say it's about 300 people. Of those 300, I would have had 150 people that I would go to and ask them for 200 dollars at least, anywhere from 50 to $250. Sure would, I would do that. But here's the thing: when you are asking people for something, be prepared to give something as well. Like people may, you can always tell them you have the crowdfunding. You can do crowdfunding events to tell people you can give away free products that they can try. You need to be willing to do that. 'Cause you can't ask people for something and then not want to give anything back. Some people may want equity one day. Consider it. Don't give too much, but consider it. Or give them like some type of investment in the business or an opportunity. So these are things that I think you should consider. And this is how I would raise in the beginning. And this is just part one. I want you guys to know that you need to have a plan for how you're going to get your money, and you need to know exactly how much you need. Then you need to prepare to pitch family, friends, husbands, wives, boyfriends, everybody. And do not leave a stone unturned. Do your homework, do your research, and be prepared to pitch these people and tell them what you need for this. That's what you do. That's how you get your friends and family around. And once you've done that, if you need your friends and family round should consist of your ask being anywhere from 10 to 20, $25,000. If you can raise that, you'll do well to raise whatever you need in the future. That's going to prepare you. So this is part one. I'm going to share with you some other resources and other options you have after your friends and family round. But this is your friends and family round and how to raise capital in 2024, starting with them. I hope I've helped, and stay tuned for part two, or where I give you your other resources after you ask your friends and your family. And subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcasts online. Bye.